Oh, good grief.
I'm going to replay that in slow motion. Thank you, Dark Souls.
I got a rock.
Ultra Greatswords are known for being pretty slow and not being able to approach your opponent. So you can see that I'm offhanding the Rapier, which also has a parry, and that parry is nice for kind of countering rolling attacks or running attacks, you know, or weapon arts like a spear weapon art. And then I also have the crossbow and exploding bolt. So if you have somebody just kind of running in a circle in front of you, waiting for you to attack because they're playing very passively, you might as well pull the crossbow out and let them know that, you know, you're not going to fall for that. You're going to shoot at their feet. And that takes a lot of practice, but it is kind of a counter to players who are being too passive.
Can't let you do that, Star Fox.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I just wanted to address something real fast. I'm sure some of you are upset that I've gone with the Chaos Infusion, but I wanted to point out that the original idea of the GiantDad build was to maximize your damage. They weren't infusing it to Chaos for the sake of the Chaos Infusion itself. They were just trying to get the best damage out of it, and that's what I've done by taking the Dark Infusion. Players on average have lower Dark defense. You also aren't going to get hard countered by a Black Knight shield. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the comparison of Zweihander and Astora Greatsword. They're actually very similar to each other in weight and damage and range. Zweihander technically weighs 2 units more. Even stat requirements aren't that far off from each other. I think the biggest difference between them is going to be the moveset. When you're using the two-handed R2 on the Zweihander, you'll have the overhead attack. I actually don't like that. I think it's a little more predictable, and you're never going to get any kind of counter damage from that. So I have to say, two-handed R2 goes to Astora. The other move is going to be the weapon art. Zweihander has Stomp, whereas the Astora has Charge. And the thing is, in a high-level duel, you'll probably never use Stomp. Maybe you'll use it to reset your poise, but I wouldn't actually ever use the attack. You're just going to use all your stamina and leave yourself prone to a punish, right? And then for Astora, you actually might use the Charge because there's, you might catch them off guard and trade with them if they're going into like their R1 combo. If you use it in close range, you'll either trade with them or they'll try to roll away. If they roll the wrong direction, they're going to get caught by it anyways. You also might catch them while they're just trying to retreat. If you've kind of won a moment, they'll be trying to retreat and the charge might actually catch up and actually hurt them really bad. You can't do that with Stomp. So the two-hand R2 and the weapon art is, I would say, better on the Astora. And therefore, I'd say if you had to pick one Ultra Greatsword as a better option, I'd have to go with the Astora. Saying that, the Zweihander is not bad. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's not one of the worst weapons in the game. So with that being said, let me know how you feel about that Dark Infusion, about my argument. Do you think that the new GiantDad build for Dark Souls 3 should be the Dark Infusion? Or do you really think, are you more of a purist? Do you really think it should be a Chaos Infusion? Let me know. And as usual, we're going to have invasions and a tier rating at the end.
Majestic!
Zweihander gets a B for duels. It does have a weaker weapon art, Stomp. It's not going to fool anybody who knows what they're doing. They're just going to roll right through it, or they might just stand back and shoot you with a crossbow or throw a lightning urn at you, right? Players in duels are very reactive, and they usually use the light weapons. They don't use slow weapons unless they're using Yorms, In which case, if they're using Yorms, they might outspace you anyways, because Zweihander's got kind of a shorter range, especially compared to Yorms. Then you have the invasion tier rating. I would give it a little better, probably a B+, and most of that is because when you're doing invasions, the majority of the time the host is not using a light weapon, and even if he is, he might get you down to half health. You're going to run away, you're going to heal up, and you're going to come back, and just because your weapon deals so much damage, you have the chance to just kind of finish off an opponent. So ultra great weapons always do a little better at invasions. However, I found Stomp still doesn't really do that well. You would think it does. Fighting a group, if you don't catch the entire group in the Stomp, somebody from that group's just going to go either right behind you or right in front of you and beat the crap out of you after Stomp is over. So Stomp's still not useful even in the invasions. Finally, for PvE is a totally different story. I give this weapon an S in PvE, and that's just because it's a lighter Ultra Great Sword, doesn't use as much stamina as the other Ultra Great Swords, low stat requirements, you can infuse it. I mean, this and a store are basically what you want in PvE. You might have to decide which weapon art you prefer. I would say you can actually use Stomp in PvE as well. It's really strong, in fact. Opponents in PvE aren't quite as smart. They're not passive at all. They'll walk right up to you and you will crush them with the Stomp. You'll go right through their shield. So S in PvE, really great weapon, in fact, for fighting the computers.
I live, I die, I live again! Thank you.
Ha!